Yes, we will read from the novel Luftreise about Hans Christian Andersen returning to Earth in the future year 2129, where he is exhibited at the Copenhagen Zoo for people who have gone out of fashion. It was intolerable for me to watch them sit there, dressed in their best clothing, with these superior expressions on their mouths. We always buy the most recent clothes we can afford to buy, and we also knows what people appreciate most, the one girl said. Not to do that is scandalous. Miss Alive appeared suddenly heated, as if she considered what she said. What is a pity? To go in the wrong clothes, to do as one like? It is criminal, and it must be punished. In closing them down in cages, trying to make fool of them in front of all people, I asked, completely and utterly full of indignation on behalf of these innocent people. And to further test the girl's moral standard, I continued, well, haven't you heard of the Jews? Does none of you remember these direct attacks, this diabolical and systematic eradication of a defenseless people? And the Arabs, the Palestinians, don't you know what it is for a Jew? Don't you know how badly the Western world has behaved towards this proud culture? And Africa, the third world countries which are being starved behind tariff and tax barriers, histories filled with examples of fundamental human rights violations, the denial of the individual's right to liberty. Yes, we could go on. Imperialism, Western wealth built on colonialism and exploitation of slaves, and today's utilization of modern slaves called low-paid workers to the industry. Yes, I am beginning to doubt that you do. Okay. This is, of course, democrature. It is the finest you can call it, if not to say the plain truth. Dictatorship. She suddenly looked like a sick bird of prey, a sick bird with bright snake-curled hair, which had caught an ice cream and slaughtered it bestialic. It was so sad to witness the form of self-downgrading she displayed. Don't you vote? She suddenly asked. I couldn't answer. The question came so unexpectedly. I stared disconcerted on Sophie while I was thinking of the dissidents. Who will you vote on? The blonde said, as if she was biting. I do not vote on any of the candidates, I replied. Don't you vote? On the political parties? She asked with a high-pitched voice, which broke into a mixture of contempt and deep disbelief. It may be dangerous, the one angel added. Her that was named Sophie, and perhaps not even were a genuine Catholic, which I had imagined. I do not care. I have burned all my voting cards. They think more or less the same nowadays, I replied honestly. This you must be careful with, said the sick bird with the blonde hair. My father was in the government on a very important post, and he always said that people who behave like you, that kind, must go out of fashion. This failure to act is a real danger to society, where it is expected that we all are active, and it must be punished. Incidentally, isn't it a wonderful zoo garden? She then said. Yes, it's a wonderful garden, I replied, almost without tone. You will certainly have a good time here. Oh yes, I would certainly have a good time here, I now said with a voice that was only a weeping whisper. Now we intend to race and leave you alone. Please, you just stay seated and wait for the animal keeper. We have told him that he can pick you up here at the restaurant, said the blonde, and smiled knowingly to the waiter. Lovely Miss Sophie asked for the bill, and the waiter bowed servile since he smelled tips. My heart was violated. My soul was endured. 2,129 Danish crowns, said the bill. Once again, that magic number. Once again, I was allowed to pay. In fact, I now had spent all the money in my wallet. There was only a few notes left, and I gave those to the waiter as extra tips. He had already eaten them with his hungry eyes. Such we have always done in my family, given money, that is to say, not eaten with our eyes. I felt a slowly paralysis spread in my entire body as the girls kissed me goodbye. I was psychologically paralyzed, had stopped to ask impossible questions, and was sitting silently and contained, as would I try to protect a final balance of my endangered pride and self-esteem. They walked away, and the tears was running down my cheeks, while I, full of sadness, sank the last drops of orange lemonades. I saw all my life pass review in these long seconds, but woke up in time to cry out, "Please, don't leave me. You told me you were angels." "Never mind. What does that mean?" I heard one of them say. "You should not believe all you are told. It was just an old melancholic poet. What importance does it have?" Now I was appalled, not knowing what to believe. How she still understood to irritate me with this intimate "you" in my shop.